I want to create this animation with Python and Pyglet and it should run smooth like this. But when I use Pyglet's game loop, the animation jitters. In this video you see how I created a custom game loop to fix that problem.
Let me start by creating a window in Pyglet. I subclassed window and implemented the onDraw method. I create a canvas instance and call run. This will start the Pyglet game loop that calls onDraw 60 times per second. Let me show you. And that works. Now, since this is a video about smooth animations, I am obligated to show a frame counter. I import FPS display and draw it. And you can see the frame rate in the corner. The run function takes argument interval with this default value, and indeed 1/60 is this value. So the frame rate should be 60. But perhaps you noticed my app never reached 60 frames per second and I don't know why this is. I tried disabling VSync to see if it makes a difference, but it did not. If you have an idea how to get exactly 60 frames per second, please let me know in the comments. By the way, I'm using macOS. To create animations, you also need an update function that is called on a regular interval. Let me show you. The update method has parameter delta time. Delta time is the time passed since the last update. I show it in a label. I create the label and add it to a batch. And import batch and label. I draw the batch. I schedule the call to the update method. The delta time will be passed to the update method. I import clock and run the program. And there is the update frequency. So that works. The value is around 60 times per second. It is known as the frequency and independent of the frame rate. The Pyglet documentation recommends to update the objects at twice the frame rate. So I set it to 120 times per second. That works. The update frequency is twice the frame rate. I download the sprites from the finished project and I'll put a link to it in the description. I will load the images as sprites and add them to the batch. I import sprite and image. The update function will animate the sprite positions like this. I import math. I initialize angle and increment it here. Let's see if that works. And it does. But look at the animation. It is jittering or stuttering. I cannot really see what is happening, only that it is not smooth. When I look at the update frequency, I do see it is not very consistent. Someone suggested to use the schedule function instead of the schedule interval function, so I tried. The update frequency is much higher, but still not stable. Again, if you have any idea why this is happening, let me know in the comments. Any help is appreciated. The only thing I could do to make it stable is to not use the clock, but create a custom game loop. I will start with updating 60 times per second. It should really be enough for animating 6 sprites. I measure the time and import time. And start a while loop that stops once angle reaches 25. I measure the time since the last update. And check if it is time to update. I replace Pyglet's game loop with my custom loop. Let me check if that works. It does. And is the animation smooth? You be the judge. I think so, and apparently 60 updates and frames per second is enough for a smooth animation.
The documentation clearly states that you should always prefer the built-in game loop for its efficiency, and I kind of agree with that. Even if the custom loop results in very smooth animations, I have no idea how power efficient it is. Once you turn this loop into an infinite loop, you should be careful not to waste CPU cycles or overheat your computer. So, what do you think? If you have any tips and tricks for me regarding smooth animations using Pyglet's schedule functions, please let me know in the comments. And if you want to see more animation fun, why don't you click on this video? There you learn how to recreate this classic Commodore 64 game with Python and Pyglet.